I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That I can love you so much that you can start loving me. All right, you sing it. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. Yeah, that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. There you go. That you can love you so much that you can start loving me. Now we got it. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. All right, high voices. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. Yeah, I love myself so much that I can love you so much that I can love you so much that you can start loving me. One more. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. Thank you guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Tucson. My name is Morgana. Take it down a little. For those joining us online, welcome wherever you, whenever and wherever you are, and when you watch and join in. For everyone here, please put the phones in airplane or turn them off so that we don't get the accidental ring ring right in the middle of Reverend Rhoni. Let's take a few moments to breathe in together, get grounded in this space. Because wherever we are in sacred space. We're all a unique expression of the divine source, the one life that is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is our life. If you are setting an intention to experience a happier life, better health, more abundant living, you're in the right place. Please know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. So, is there anyone here for the first time who'd be willing to put a hand up, be recognized? Let us greet you. Hi, welcome. Welcome. After service, if you'd like to know some more, there are people with name badges, practitioners, board members, and of course our own Reverend Rhoni. We'd love to talk with you, and there's a welcome bag just outside the sanctuary. We invite you to take that with you. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, please remember to ask. So a few announcements from the bulletin really quickly. First things first, last week I talked about how we fill the soul and we fill the belly. We're going to take a little break from belly filling. So fellowship after service is going to be discontinued for a little while. The next one will be the potluck on 9/7. So plan for it, bring your best recipes. Go into the deep, dark archives and pull out Granny's winning Sunday potluck, okay? Next, a Grief Unraveled is a workshop with Reverend Rhoni and Sarah Thomas, our certified grief instructor. Saturday, August 16th from 3 to 5, exploring the myths of grief, past losses, and the need to be heard. More details again at that welcome table just outside the door. And we haven't talked about this in a little bit, but the LGBTQ plus Friends meets the third Sunday of the month before service at 9:30. That's going to be at Starbucks on Swan. The address is in the bulletin. There are lots more announcements, meetings, and events all in your bulletin, online on your newsletter. And if you don't have a newsletter yet, we'd be glad to sign you up. Now, let's take a few minutes, very short few minutes. Let's go ahead and get up and say hello to everybody, wave hi, give hugs. Wonderful. I can feel the love all the way up here. All right. Welcome. I'm giving spiritual hugs to everybody that I can't reach. Okay, let's move on. We're going to read our mission statement, the spiritual alternative. It's on the front of your bulletin if you want to read along. The Center for Spiritual Living Tucson is an inclusive, vibrant, spiritual community focusing on personal connection through our beliefs, principles, and practices of the science of mind.
And now our lighting of the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the candle for all who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives. We hold space for them and for all those religious unnamed in the ceremony. Lastly, as the healing candle is lit, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love. Moving into 3 minutes of quietude. as the vibration of the sound gets quieter, I take this moment as an invitation to open up and remember who we really are, to acknowledge the spirit, the love, the joy, the energy, the community, the power and presence of the divine right where we are. Spirit is in the house. Spirit is the house here and now. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and those online, we just know in this moment, there's no place to go, nothing to do. Simply rest in the presence as we celebrate this community, this service, the music, the message, the marvelous connections, the radiation of the love and light that is moving forth into this world and beyond. And so I simply and gratefully acknowledge that right where we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is.
Old pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forwarding this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs, these songs of freedom, redemption songs, redemption songs.
So now we have the spiritual thought for today. Go where you want to go. Obviously, God could not create man with the gift of free choice without making him able to think, and he cannot think without bringing upon himself the results of his thinking. Universal mind has no choice but to create through law the thought that is given to it. If it could contradict that thought, it would be recognizing something outside of itself and would not be a unity. And this is from It's Up to You, from 1968. So I'm going to speak the affirmation one time and then invite you to join me in repeating it together. I choose anew each moment, replacing any fear or negativity with positive thoughts and actions. So you want to repeat it together? Let's try it one more time. In unison. You can sing it if you want to. Ready? I choose anew each moment, replacing any fear or negativity with positive thoughts and actions. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Sue. Please welcome Kristen, who's going to sing a song by India Ari.
Thank you. Every day that you pass my way, I wonder about your life. What is your age? Are you connected? And if so, do they treat you right? Now please excuse me for being so forward. I couldn't let this chance go by without letting you know. I wonder if you really knew that I see God in you. And I wonder if you can see how much you mean to me. I know you cannot read my mind, but I hope you feel the vibe. I think it's time I let you know that I see the God in you. Oh yeah. Every time that I see your face, I wonder what lies beneath your smile. What are your dreams? What are your fears? What does your heart hold dear? Now I know that you don't know me at all, but if you know yourself, then you know me very well. I wonder if you really knew that I see God in you. And I wonder if you can see how much you mean to me. I know you cannot read my mind, but I hope you feel the vibe. Think it's time I let you know that I see the God in you. Oh yeah, I see the God in you. Oh yeah, I see the God in you. Oh yeah.
Why, Michael? You got it? Okay. Or maybe not. Here, I'll let you. If not, what do you want to do? It's one of those mornings. You do what you want to do, and the technical stuff does it itself. But time to retire my computer. But anyway, so good morning. Good morning, Tucson. It's so wonderful to have you, each and every one of you. And so we are continuing, and we're almost over with our summer series of song titles. And it was funny because when I first went into this talk title, I thought, oh, it's such a cool title. Go where you want to go, do what you want to do. And then Michael called me one day and he goes, do you know what the lyrics are? And I said, really? and so I had to rethink, and I thought, you know what? No, I still like the talk title. So what it made me think of is, of course, how many of us are able to go where we want to go, do what we want to do. Thank you, love. And really Be free about it. I look at my life and I say, that's my theme song. Because I've spent most of my life going, trying to do what I want to do and go where I want to go, and dragging other people with me, and having fun at the same time. I love being an adult. And I was thinking about this crazy thing this morning. I could have pizza in the morning if I want. Right? Right? I mean, there's not mom saying, honey, really, let me make you an egg or something, No, I can go in and I can say, dang, that Hawaiian pizza last night was really good. Eat it, good. Cup of coffee? Well, maybe. But we can do those things. We can do those crazy, crazy things. But the other part of that is I also learned, and I know all of us have learned, that with that freedom comes responsibility. And the consequences that, of course, we tend to get into when we have experiences or choices that we make. And we kind of sometimes look at those choices and back up and say, ooh, did I really want to do that? I think about, yes, so many roads that I've traveled, the people that I've met, the people that have been part of my family, like all of you, my spiritual family. And I was thinking about this, and in the Bible, it's in the Proverbs, which is one of my favorite sections. It says, the heart of humanity plans its way, but the Lord establishes its steps. Yes. So we're not alone in all of this. And I was asked if God clears our way or do we make our way? It's both. When we're working together, that's what we're doing, is we are truly working together in that spiritual consciousness. So go where you want to go, do what you want to do. The mamas and papas, they're singing this wonderful song. And, and in the light of the science of mind, it's a perspective that means to be conscious and deliberate spiritual being. And using your mind, as we do in the science of mind, is to create a life of purpose and joy. Wow. Yes, that's what we want to do. And knowing that we can do this, that creative power of the universe is responding to each and every step of our way. Yes, it does. It responds to each and everything we do. And it's also another thing called cause and effect. Or I like to simplify it a little bit with Einstein's, for every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. It's kind of how things work. So when we look at this song, and we go a little bit deeper, it really has a lot to do with two things: relationship and choice. On the surface, it is about two people that, are in the midst of a separation. And one person is giving permission to the restless one and says, go, it's okay. And it's a sort of a bittersweet resignation. Because, of course, none of us want to be left. But when we look at the sadness, I think there is a profound spiritual truth that speaks to the very heart of our philosophy. And the conflict and the tension between, these two people and the love and attachment, that they're experiencing versus the recognition of another person's need for, for their own journey and self-discovery. How many of us are willing to do that with a partner when they say, you know what, I can't do this anymore? And of course, the first thing we do is, what did I do wrong? Or what did you do wrong? It's usually what we do. My first marriage, let's see, what should I call that? My license of learning relationship. Sweet man, absolutely adorable. He was caught between our relationship. Now, you're going to love this one. His dad was a minister, and his dad wanted him to be in the ministry. But my husband was an aeronautical engineer with Lockheed. So he really loved airplanes more than he loved the ministry. And then I came into the picture, and I wasn't really part of that equation. And so he had, unknown to me, this constant conflict between trying to be the minister's son and trying to be the aeronautical engineer, which is what he really wanted to be in his, his life, and then be a loving husband to me. Somehow things just didn't work. And it got to a point where he started drinking. And one night I came home and he had collapsed from having too much. And I looked at him and I said, you know what, I love you too much for this to be a decision that destroys you. And so we talked. Oh my God, we talked for 2 days about it. And we made the decision that it was better to love each other and be apart. And so we did. We made that decision to go where we want to go, do what we want to do. And so he chose, he loved me, but he chose, his career, which is wonderful. And he's still doing it, still flying, and he's doing wonderful things in his life. But I often think, how many of us will, have a partner or a friend, and we say, no, you have to stay here for me. Why? Is the conflict really, is it really worth it? When the conflict is the tension between love and attachment versus the recognition of another person's need for their own journey and self-discovery, as I said. So let's put the breakup for anything, for any relationship, to one side over here and look a little deeper at the process of letting go, which is, as we know, not fun. Truly, if we want to look at it, the deeper meaning, it's a spiritual exercise in letting go and embracing loss. The person's act of releasing that partner is a form of spiritual surrender. It's okay. The song embodies the concept of, via negativa, or what we would call the negative way of knowing God. And instead of defining God by the God is, via the negativa, focuses on what God is and is not. The person is letting go of their idea of a perfect or lasting relationship. And don't we all do that? In fact, it was really interesting when I was, studying psychology and different things, and I realized how many of us go into a relationship and we have conditions, but we don't share it with the other person. They're like the secret little thing. Okay, they did this, they did that, and we don't share it. And then we wonder why a relationship falls apart, because we didn't share with them our list of conditions. And the other part of it, why do we have to have conditions? Why can't we live or love freely? It's like finding God in the darkness. The darkness or emptiness that is created by loss and a partner's departure, is not seen as a failure. I want you to know that. Think of it differently. Not as a failure, but as a potential site for spiritual growth. And you're saying, what? How do you get spiritual growth out of that? It's all in the way we look at things. We can do the blame game all we want to. We can do it all day. but we are part of that other relationship, whatever it is. So what is our part in it? And what do we need to forgive ourselves? You know, the person, is walking into a spiritual desert. And this is exactly, where we are most likely to encounter a deeper, more authentic version of ourselves and the divine. Yes, when we go into those desert parts of our lives, nothing is there and we're thirsty. And what do? So the other lyric is, maybe someday you'll be feeling the way that I do now. Sure, some of us have left relationships and say, maybe, just maybe someday you'll feel like me. And you hope the worst, right? It's like thunderbolts and hope your car crashes and, we do. Why? Why do we do that? When we could take the road of love and think of all the angst and all the other stuff that we wouldn't have to deal with. We could only interpret, the person, that's releasing is hoping that their partner, through their own journey, which is our journey, will also come to understand the value of this kind of spiritual letting go. It is. It is a spiritual letting go. It's not just, you're thinking, okay, it's a person. Actually, it's a soul. Unconditional love. What is unconditional love? It's the person's ability to bless the partner's journey even at a great personal cost. It is an act of unconditional love when we are able to just release and let go. This love, it's not about possession, and yet we make it that, or attachment, but it's really about honoring the other person's soul journey. When we can say, I love you, I let you go, it's like they've spent some of their journey with us, and then we say, okay, be well. And maybe someday we'll meet again. And you've each grown. And I can think of all the most of the relationships I've been, whether it's been work or love or whatever it's been, I've always grown. There's always been another step. There's always been something that I've invited to because, we look at it as there's a vacuum, there's a hole, but yet God always fills it. God continues to fill it. Not the way we think it's going to be filled, but the way it wants us to experience it. When we think about it, it all mirrors a divine kind of love that allows for freedom and self-discovery, even if it, leads us away from the person that we love. In the metaphysical, spiritual science of mind, we look at, as a demonstration of spiritual law and the power of conscious choice. We are making choices. We can do that. The song illustrates the principle that the true freedom and happiness come from aligning oneself with one's own inner truth. And that, my friends, is the Christ consciousness. It's the law of mind in action. And if we truly look a little bit more closely and we think about the partners and happiness, it is a manifestation of their own consciousness. Yes. They are going where they want to go because the soul is calling them to a different experience. And unfortunately, it doesn't include us. But they're being called. They're being called to another experience. As a minister, most of us, I would say every one of us, being a minister, gets what we call the call. And it changes your life. Because it's not just saying, yeah, I think I'm going to be a minister one day. All of a sudden you're doing your life and you hear this voice and it gets you right here. And it takes you to your knees. And you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I love, whatever you love doing it. So our people are called to different things too. They get hit in the heart and say, you know what? This is what I need to do. So yesterday morning, I woke up, thank God, and I woke up and I just had this feeling. It was like, I'm done. I'm done. I need a change. I need a shift. And I called my stylist and I said, Bruce, I'm done. The hair's got to go, whatever. And I love him so much. And he said, okay, so what do you want to do? He says, do you want to cut it? And I said, yeah. He said, short. I said, yes. And he goes, okay, what do you want to do with the blonde? And I said, it can go. It can do whatever you want to do. He goes, really? And I said, yes. And he goes, would you be okay with red? And I said, whatever. Oh, he was so cute. He was like, okay, cool, we're going to do red. So I walked in there, and it's funny because, and I love it, and it's kind of fun. But there's also a part of me that I shared with him, and I said, yes, I'm bored, and I'm creating change on the outside, where really I should be doing the work on the inside of wanting change. But yet there's a whole lot of change coming in the next 2 weeks for me. I'm starting school again as my master's, and other things are going on in my life that are all positive, but they're going to create shift and changes in my life. And I guess what I had to do is like, okay, I'm ready. So I got ready. And I said, yeah, I'm going to go where I want to go, do what I want to do. Charles isn't so good about it, but it's okay. It's just funny. But, that's what it's all about, is making choices that, yeah, maybe we know that there's something else going on, but it gives us a way to like, okay, this is my jumping off point. This is what I want to do. The person in this whole story is understanding that instead of instantly going into victimness, it aligns with a different energy of aligning, with wisdom, forgiveness, and love. And instead of trying to control the partner's experience, the person instead is consciously releasing them, knowing that this is the highest good for both of them. This is the act of co-creating a reality where both individuals are free to follow their spiritual path. Wow, can you imagine that? Somebody saying, here, please, go. I love you, go. What our philosophy teaches is that all people are expressions of the one God. Therefore, true love is not about possessing another person. It's about recognizing the divine within them and ourselves, and allowing them the freedom to express that divinity. The person's act of letting go is an act of spiritual non-attachment. They are affirming the person's, inherent right, to their own journey, knowing that in the grand scheme of everything that they are still connected to the one mind. In the science of mind, we interpret, the song, or as I would call it, to affirm the good, even in a seemingly negative situation. Yeah, people accuse us of being Pollyanna and, sugary sweet and, and sugarcoating things. But it's not really that. What we're doing is we're looking at the positive side of whatever's going on. We don't have to dwell in the negative. The person is affirming the person's right to have their own happiness and journey. They are not affirming the sadness of the breakup, but the spiritual necessity of the separation. The lyrics go on to say, I know you're going to find a place, you're going to be happy now. We could think of that as an affirmation. Because there's so many things in our lives where we'll say something and we really have to think about it, because most of these things are like affirmations. Are we affirming that for ourselves? In fact, some of you that have been in my office, and you'll say something and I'll say, are you sure you want to affirm that? Have to think about it. You know, a powerful declaration of positive outcome, even if it's, not the outcome, we initially, desire, so often, we build our lives or our relationships and even our faith on foundation of control and certainty. Yes, we do. We want God to stay, with us the way we've always known God, the God of our understanding. And we want our loved ones to stay, our jobs to stay, and our health to stay. That one I can definitely understand. Yes, we want everything to stay the same. But life and God have other plans, as we all know. Sometimes the greatest act of faith can be to perform, and actually perform a faith trust, a trust of faith, in ourselves, and, the permission to give ourselves to go where we want to go. It's not the same kind of, self, hedonistic way, but to go to the, places that, are calling our soul. What's wrong with that? Even if those places are strange, dark, and unfamiliar, they are worth going into. So my dear, beautiful spiritual community, I want to ask you these questions. What is your life? And what in your faith are you holding on to too tightly? What in your life and what in your faith are you holding on way too tightly? And what are you afraid to release? I guarantee you that if you release and let go, something else wonderful will emerge. And you can just for a moment find the courage to whisper to it that thing that you're so afraid of releasing, with love and then faith, and say, go where you want to go. Do what you want to do. Trust that God is not or will never leave you. God simply prepares us for new destinations and new encounters and a new way of being. It's called an AFCO, another fine growth opportunity. And I know this to be so. And so it is. Amen. So it is, yes. And so in that so it is, we go where we want to go. We want to do what we want to do. And we go and do it in love, unconditional love. Those with us and on our journey that we release and we let go, and we gather and we let go, and whatever it is that we are to know, we look at each and every one of these beautiful souls as a learning opportunity, a loving opportunity. For all of us, we give and we give and we love. And we just know that as we are hunting and gathering, we are gathering so much beauty, so much love, so much that we know that the eternal Spirit will always be able to give us. And I am so grateful for that, and so much more that we have this opportunity to choose and to love. And for this and so much more, I just say, thank you, God. And so it is.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, that you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Come on, sing it. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Come on. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what do you do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. Yeah. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel. Always get in the grease. Let's sing that. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. If you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Let's sing that. Shower the people. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Keep that going. Shower the people. Show them the way that you feel. They say every life, they say the rain must fall, just like the pouring rain. Make it rain, make it rain. I say love, 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 love. Let it rain, let it rain. Let it rain, let it rain. If we just shower the people you love with love, show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love, show them the way that you feel. Keep singing. Shower the people you love with
We have the grief relief workshop this Saturday. I do believe it starts at 3, goes till 5:30. It is a love donation. So that's the charge, is just love. And then, let's see, oh, yes. If you're interested in becoming a member or you want to know a little bit more about Centers for Spiritual Living Tucson, I'm having a little bit of a meeting on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So if you all are, interested in that, I am giving a short class well, I shouldn't say short, but it's a very meaningful class about what it is to be a member of Centers for Spiritual Living Tucson. And with that, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. And if your heart is so moved, there's a wonderful little basket that's willing to take your heart in the back. And what that beautiful basket enables us to do is to keep, being here in this beautiful sanctuary, to have the beautiful, amazing individuals that support us in the tech, to have these amazing individuals called musicians. Yes, Kristen too. And just allows us to have a happy place to be as a spiritual family. And, I am just so grateful for that opportunity. So with that, let us say our little spiritual prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now.
Please stand up, sing our closing song, It's in Every One of Us. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both of your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both of your eyes. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us here and now. Bring it up. It's in every one of us to be wise. Yeah. Find your heart, open up both of your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both of your eyes. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us here and now.
It is in every one of us. So we know as we go forth, we're knowing that the universe is always saying yes to each and every one of us, to let our thoughts be seeds of abundance and our words be decrees and declarations, whatever they want to be, of well-being, and our actions to be expressions of love. I know this to be so, and I know this to be true. And let's say, I am. God is. And my life is filled with infinite possibilities. And so it is. Have a beautiful week, everyone. I love you.